Tonight on News Channel 12 Live at 6, we're going to break down WKU men's basketball coach Rick Stansbury's philosophy on winning.
And some international students are facing monetary cuts in their education. Find out what's happening coming up on News Channel 12 Live at 6.
Is the sunshine and warm weather here to stay? I'll talk about this week's weather maker and possible rainmaker coming up next.
This is News Channel 12 Live at 6, where commitment makes the difference.
That's right, WKU basketball is under new management in Kentucky native Rick Stansbury. Thanks for joining us at News Channel 12 Live at 6. I'm Carrie Blanton.
And I'm Morgan Vickers. Karen Eintzer joins us now to tell us all about yesterday's announcement. Karen?
Right, guys. So yesterday, WKU officially announced that they had a new head coach. That was Rick Stansbury. They had an official press conference yesterday. Now, he is replacing Ray Harper, who just resigned about a week and a half ago. So in less than a week and a half, WKU has a new head coach.
It was definitely a quick process. How's the community and university reacting?
Right, so a lot of people are very excited about this new coach. He's coming from some big schools, and we'll see what he does for this WKU team.
All right, thanks, Karen. We'll hear more about that later. Many of you may be wondering just who the man himself is. Rick Stansbury is originally from Battletown, Kentucky. Stansbury played basketball throughout his high school career and graduated from Meade County High School in 1977. After graduation, Stansbury went on to play basketball at Campbellsville University. Stansbury has coached at the University of the Cumberlands, Austin Peay University, Mississippi State, and Texas A&M. And now, Stansbury is back to Kentucky as the head men's basketball coach for the Hilltoppers. From all of us here at News Channel 12, we'd like to welcome you, Rick Stansbury, to the Hill.
Jessica Dobson now joins us with our first look at our forecast. Jessica?
You know, Morgan, I don't think we could have asked for a more pleasant spring day. We had warm temperatures, plenty of sunshine, the trees were blooming, the flowers are blooming. You know, it's a great day to be outside, and hopefully you had a chance to get out there. You know, our high temperatures today, 74 in Bowling Green, 78 to our north in Owensboro, 76 in Bloomington to our north, 72 in Lexington, 70 to our east in London. So it's definitely a pleasant, warm day out there, a slight breeze, so it felt great to get outside. Currently, right now, we've cooled off a bit, 59 in Bowling Green, 61 in Owensboro, 55 in Lexington, and 60 over to our east in London. And we are going to be talking about our next weather maker coming up that could bring us the potential for some rain showers and even possibly a thunderstorm or two. So you're going to want to keep those rain jackets and umbrellas handy. But we'll talk about that coming up next. Back to you guys.
Officials confirmed the name of the suspect shot by Capitol Police Monday after pulling out what appeared to be a weapon. Police say 66-year-old Larry Russell Dawson is facing charges of assault with a deadly weapon and assault on a police officer while armed. Police say yesterday suspect triggered the metal detectors at the Capitol Visitor Center entrance, which prompted a lockdown at the Capitol. The suspect is in stable but critical condition after undergoing surgery. 2016 is the year of scrutiny for gun laws. The Second Amendment under fire. Owner Nemesis Arms David Ives says he feels he's being out-taxed. Ives says his business is getting charged more taxes than any other business because they make firearms. Check out the complete story of Nemesis Arms on our website at newschannel12live.com.
Saudi Arabian students on the Hill are facing scholarship cuts from their government. Reporter Delia Yasmin gives us a first-hand look at how the cuts are affecting those students.
For some international students, study abroad is like a dream come true. But for Saudi Arabian students like Ali Al-Ashur, it may not have a happy ending.
The first when I came here, my government promised us they would give us scholarships. But after that, they don't give us anything.
Saudi Arabian government cut the funding for the King Abdullah Scholarship Program last year.
According to Institute International Education, there is a significant drop of Saudi Arabian students studying in the U.S.
from 21% to 11.2% between the year of 2014 and 2015. The scholarship cuts are more likely to affect the new Saudi Arabian students here on the Hill.
Some of my friends, they just went home because their family, they cannot afford expensive tuition.
For Ali, he may also have to go home.
My father retired for 2 months, so that will be hard for him to continue pay for me.
Instead of giving up his dream, Ali is trying to find another way out.
I will try to figure out some solution. Maybe when I get studied at the university, I will get part-time work or something.
For News Channel 12, I'm Dila Yasmin.
International students can only work on Western's campus and are not permitted by their visas to work in the community. Well, coming up on News Channel 12 Live at 6, reporter Darby Bean joins us with a special report about a lost community that was once here on the Hill and what some are doing to keep the memories alive.
Welcome back to News Channel 12. She was only a little girl, but Angela Townsend remembers her childhood home to this day. From the grocery store she used to work at when she was just 8 years old, to the porch swing she sat on with her great-grandmother, waiting for the Reverend to walk by and wave. But today, her hometown is gone, and I sat down with her as she told me that part of her childhood story as well. She says she lives in the past because that's where Jonesville is.
I have deep emotional feelings about it. It may have been because my great-grandmother, Lizzie Taylor, lived across the street, and I was special when I went to her house. They said, "Here comes the Langie, here comes the Langie."
But today, Miss Townsend can't drive by and see the community she once called home. Instead, she's filled her house with the memories of Jonesville through pictures, Bibles, and heirlooms she's saved over the years.
His name is John Sterling Alexander, and he bought me my first bicycle.
She only lives a few miles away from where she grew up, but Jonesville isn't there anymore. It's only a memory.
Then I'd go down to my aunt's house. She wore Lily Ann clothes. Anybody in that era knows. She had furs. She always had the nicest cars and all that stuff. And she loved to dress. Her sister was not a dresser, but my Aunt Audrey was.
But before the end of the 1960s, the town that had thrived for so many years with its own grocery stores, churches, and beauty salons was shut down by urban renewal, and the land was sold to the college up the hill.
It was devastating, very devastating for my grandmother. My grandmother owned property on that side of the street where the arena is. By then, her parents had died and had left her and her brothers the property they owned on the other side.
Some people stayed to fight for their homes, but others knew the longer they waited, the less money they would get for their property.
I was talking to my aunt. She says, yes, so they'd call Mama Ellen, the lawyers downtown, said, you better get here if you want that price that we offered you. She said she went and left and she had on 2 different shoes. A lot of them wound up in the projects and stuff because they didn't get enough money. A few others wound up in homes, the ones that went early on when my grandmother did. And I'm going to set this record straight. I've seen these houses that they have in pictures in the museum, and some of those houses that they show, and they said, well, these houses were dilapidated and all that. That's that Parker Bennett area. Those houses in Parker Bennett, they had nothing to do with Jonesville. So they took pictures of that to try to persuade people that this was bad. And I was looking at those pictures the other day. I said, that's not Jonesville.
Western Kentucky University used the land to expand their campus and create places like Diddle Arena, among multiple other buildings and residence halls.
This is the house that sat where Bates Runner is now.
As you can tell, the sign commemorating Jonesville placed on WKU's campus is well over 6 feet tall. But I asked Miss Townsend her opinion on it, and she said it's a nice gesture, but simply inadequate. Her main complaint was its placement on campus. When people drive by, can you really see the sign? So I decided to put that to the test. So, were you able to read all 9 lines going 35 miles an hour? I couldn't either. For people like Miss Townsend, the marker isn't enough.
I pass it down through poetry, I pass it down through talk, and when I do applications and things, I always mention Jonesville and what happened to me when I was a young person. So that's the way I pass it down, because it should not be forgotten.
And she'll keep telling these stories through generations to come.
Buried with their mother and father in Mount Moriah Cemetery All are there but Polly, of course, who chose to rest in Fairview to the contrary.
And Miss Townsend has kept her word about passing the memories of Jonesville down through her writing. She has multiple poems at the Kentucky Museum if you'd like to go read about some of the influential people from her childhood. And she continues writing poetry today, speaking out about the past and the present. Now when we come back, Jessica Dobson has a full look at your weather.
Welcome back to News Channel 12. It was a great spring day out there. Definitely warm temperatures. I'm sure some of your all's allergies were taking a hit whenever those trees were blooming out there. But today's highs, 74 in Bowling Green, 78 in Owensboro, 72 over in Lexington, and 76 to our north in Cincinnati. So all across the region, we saw temperatures in the low to mid 70s, which is a little unseasonable for this time of year, but I don't think anybody's complaining about those really pleasant temperatures. Right now outside, 59 in Bowling Green, 60 in Owensboro, 56 in Bloomington, and 55 in Lexington. So we're a bit milder as temperatures continue to tumble as the sun goes down. Our satellite and radar, we have high pressure over the region right now, so that's really what's dominating much of our area and giving us that sunshine and those warmer temperatures that we are seeing this afternoon. And as we head or pull out to our satellite and radar, the system to our west is going to be our next rainmaker, and we're going to keep an eye on that because that's what's going to bring us thunderstorms possibly this Wednesday night and this Thursday. So we want to keep an eye on that, and because there could be some damaging winds and some damaging hail to our area. And as we look at our temperatures, you can definitely see out west where that low pressure system is centered right across the mid-Rockies and into Denver. That's going to be making our way to our region, but not pulling our temperatures down quite that much. As you can see, 35 degrees up in Billings, pretty chilly. We won't be seeing temperatures quite that low. We'll probably remain in the mid to upper 60s. So right now in Bowling Green, 69, in London, 60 degrees, 55 in Lexington. And currently in Bowling Green, we're going to see that low humidity, winds out of the north, so you might want to keep a jacket handy if you are planning on heading outside this evening because those winds out of the north can give a little bit of a biting chill. And today's almanac, we are about 10 degrees above average. Our normal is about 64 degrees and our low is around 40, so we're right around normal for there. But if you look at our monthly total for rain, and today we didn't have any precipitation, but like I said, that's all going to be changing as we head into this week's forecast. So tomorrow morning we're going to see mostly cloudy skies, but tomorrow night that will be changing as rain moves into our area along this trailing cold front. So we're going to see widespread showers across the region. That's going to be dominating much of our area. And tonight, 42 degrees. Winds are out of the north, so it's going to be a bit cold. Keep that jacket handy. Tomorrow, we're going to see 73 degrees, mostly cloudy. We're going to be bouncing back from that 40 degrees and hitting a high of 73, but keep those rain boots handy because you're going to need them and that umbrella as the day continues. Back to you all.
Thanks, Jessica. For many sports fans, the big dance is right around the corner, so pretty soon it'll be time to compare brackets with friends and family. So how busted is your bracket? Ours are nowhere near perfect. Our Katherine Garner has the story.
Sending Demery back.
It's pretty bad. It is.
For college basketball fans, it puts the mad into March Madness. Busted brackets.
And after the whole MTSU fiasco, it's pretty much falling apart.
All look really bad.
About as busted as it can get.
Have you ever come close to making a perfect bracket?
No. No.
In theory, it's a pretty simple task. You pick each winning team all the way through the national championship game. So if 40 million people participate in March Madness each year, and 70 million of those brackets come from those participants, why hasn't anyone made a perfect bracket yet?
It's hard to have a perfect bracket because the odds of having a perfect bracket are virtually zero. You've got 63 games that are being played, and each game has two possible outcomes. And if you take it just with a 50-50 chance, you end up at the odds of being 1 in 9.2 quintillion of winning.
However, people usually go with stats over chance. So what are the odds, and what about those unexpected, expected moments, like upsets?
You can calculate the odds of every matchup based on the seed facing each other. And when you do that, instead of 9.2 quintillion, you've got a 1 in 41.6 billion. Sometimes there's the circumstances of the game. There will be upsets, there will be teams that win by a fluke, by a crazy shot, by something that's happening with a player that we don't even know about.
But don't let these daunting numbers discourage you. Some Hoops fans, like Brooks Cockrell, enjoy filling out brackets to take on those odds every year, hoping for a decent bracket.
It's fun to try. I know all of my Final Four is still available. I got Oklahoma, Virginia, North Carolina, and Kansas, so I'm sitting pretty for the moment.
And as some fans are more focused on the big dance, others like Brooks are looking further down the road for their favorite team.
I stand by my Toppers. You know, we're looking at a new coach, looking at a new time, so hey, go Tops. Hope to be back in it soon.
For News Channel 12, I'm Katherine Gardner.
If you're interested in possibly bettering next year's bracket with a more logistic approach, Dr. Forker's notes may come in handy. Head over to newschannel12live.com to look over the seed against seed graph he discussed with Catherine.
Destination or pit stop on the map, the home of the Corvette has a way of bringing strangers together that share the same love for fast cars. Reporter Devin Hall has the story.
Around this time of year, if you're traveling on I-65 in either direction, you're sure to pass the National Corvette Museum. The structure is hard to miss with its big yellow dome and red spire jutting out from the top. Opening its doors in the fall of 1994, the museum welcomed generations of the Chevrolet Corvette.
Currently in our exhibit hall, we have an American muscle car exhibit that runs through this week.
Often when visiting a place like the Corvette Museum, pictures are a must.
I take pictures of the visitors and I put them in front of a green screen and we Photoshop Corvettes in there with them. There's people that come here from Australia, Sweden, Germany, England.
Many people come from all over the world to experience what the National Corvette Museum has to offer. But others come for something different.
The sinkhole happened February 12th, 2014, and I think shock is the best word to describe it. It's not something you expect to walk into work that day.
News of the unexpected collapse spread across the nation, resulting in a 67% increase in tourism for the year 2012.
The last time I came here, it wasn't like the sinkhole was still here, so we couldn't do anything.
Since the sinkhole opened up, a lot of people still want to know about it. That's the first thing they ask about when they come in here.
This is pretty crazy with these cars falling in that hole. I heard about it on the TV, and now we're here and can see what happened. It's pretty crazy.
To better understand what happened just 2 years ago, the museum created the Cave-In Sky Dome exhibit, engaging the public in interactive games and simulation. As the muscle car exhibit comes to a close, the Corvette team has several plans set in place for their next big exhibit. For News Channel 12, I'm Devin Hall.
If you're interested in learning more about the history of the Corvette Museum, visit our website at newschannel12live.com. Up next, Karen and Marcus have some more information about the new face joining the WKU men's basketball bench.
Welcome back. The sun is shining, the cherry trees on the hill are blooming, and Pro Day was upon us this afternoon. Today, 31 of 32 NFL teams were represented at Fikes Field, taking their evaluations of each respective Hilltopper football player. Obviously, a lot of eyes were on Brandon Dowdy. However, another man might have just added his name to the headlines. Defensive back Prince Charles Iwara dropped the mic when it came to the 40-yard dash, recording an official time of 4.32 seconds. Now you can find more information about Pro Day live on the Extra Point Thursday at 6. Now Texas A&M is going to need to be searching for a new assistant coach because WKU just officially picked up Rick Stansberry as head coach. With just a little over 290 career wins and 11 trips to the Big Dance, it's no surprise WKU took interest in the former Mississippi State head coach. He compiled quite the resume as the Bulldogs' main man, leading state to 2 SEC tournament championships and 1 regular season SEC championship. Stansberry was also named SEC Coach of the Year in 2004. Now let's head over to Coach Stansberry's new stomping grounds, the Diddle Arena. Marcus, what do you got for me?
Thanks, Karen. I'm Marcus Brown here live in EA Diddle Arena, and
after rumors and speculation last week of who would be the next Hilltopper men's basketball coach, we finally found out yesterday that Rick Stansberry is going to be the man. This Thursday, myself and Matthew Stewart are going to take control and digest on how we think Rick Stansberry is going to do. Be sure to tune in on that this Thursday, 6 o'clock on the Extra Point. Back to you, Karen.
Thanks, Marvis. Moving to the women's side of things, the Ladies in Red postseason has sadly come to an end. On Sunday, the Lady Tops played against South Dakota in the quarterfinals of the WNIT. The ladies cap off their season with 27-7 overall record, despite Coach Hurt's comment at the beginning of the season of the rebuilding year. Now, from the court to the diamond, the Hilltopper baseball team got the broom out this weekend and swept Middle Tennessee in this weekend's series at Nick Dennis Field. The Hilltoppers kept the game score low Friday night to start the series off. It wasn't until Saturday's game that the hot bats were rolling, and WKU secured the series win of 10-4 victory in Game 2. And completed on Sunday's sweep, winning 2-1, the Tops have quite a foe. Now the Tops have quite the foe tonight, taking on number 5 Louisville. Right now at the Nick, the score is 0-0 at the top of the second inning. Now for all Warren County and WKU sports, tune into the Extra Point Thursday at 6. And after the break, we'll head to Jessica Dobson to join us for some last-minute weather.
Welcome back. Jessica Dobson joins us with the final look at our weather forecast. Jessica, what's the weather like for the rest of the week?
You know, guys, it's not too terrible after you head out of Thursday, but Thursday and Wednesday afternoon, you know, you're going to be experiencing some rain showers and possibly a rumble of thunder or two. So, but if you look into the weekend, our start of April, it's going to be a really nice, you know, mid to upper 50s and even up to the upper 60s by Monday. So keep those rain jackets handy, but you toss them in the closet by the end of this week.
Thanks, Jessica. I am so ready for some spring weather, that's for sure. Now, the weather's going to be nice this weekend, Karen. Is there any sports going on?
We've got some games coming up this weekend as well, so everyone head out to the Nick Dennis Field, catch those Hilltoppers play. And, of course, tonight's a beautiful night for that game against Louisville. So, a lot of weather. I'm hoping for some good weather to come up.
All right, well, that's all we have time for tonight. Thanks for making News Channel 12 your source for news. Have a good night.